Hello and welcome to Happiest Health's webinar series as part of Women's Wellness Summit 2024. I'm Revati Rajivan and I will be your host for today's session on women's physical fitness. Now, it's a given that physical fitness is crucial for one's well-being. But imagine when you go to a gym or a marathon for that matter, how many women do you see around? Of course, the number is increasing, but even today, when you look around, the number is very few. Is it because women need not be physically fit? Is it because they don't need these physical activities or because they don't want to? We will discuss all of these and more in today's session of webinar, Women's Physical Fitness. And for this session, we have a panel of experts who are joining us who will give their own physical fitness journey as well. And tell us about how one can embark on their physical fitness journey. Before that, let me tell our attendees that Happiest Health is organizing a summit on women's wellness on 16th March 2024 at St. John's Auditorium, Bengaluru from 9 a.m. To know more about the summit, please log on to www.happiesthealth.com and register for the summit. With that, let me introduce you to the panelists. First up, Dr. Poorva Ranade. She's a practicing psychologist and counselor from Bengaluru. She has more than 2 decades of experience of counseling children, adolescents, adults, and gives parental guidance. She also teaches and trains postgraduate students and takes depression and stress-related counseling and therapy for children and adults. She's actively engaged in conducting sessions on stress management, mental health awareness, parenting, and work-life balance for corporates, teachers, and other stakeholders. She creates awareness about counseling, life skills, and also works with Apollo Cradle Hospital, Koramangala in Bengaluru. She is also into physical fitness. She will share her journey not just as a qualified medical professional, but also as somebody who prioritizes physical fitness. Welcome to the panel, Dr. Poorva Ranade.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, we have Mahasweta Ghosh. She's a qualified marathoner. She has participated in the 37th edition of Marathon des Sables. That's French for Marathon of the Sands. It is widely regarded as the toughest foot race in the world. She's a desert ultra trail in self-sufficiency, made also difficult by the heat in the Sahara Desert, running under 40 degrees Celsius. It is a multi-stage race covering a cumulative distance of approximately 250 kilometers over 7 days. And Mahasweta, he's the fastest runner who has completed the marathon from India. She has also completed over 50 races, 17 full marathons, including 6 international marathons, ultra and trail runs, which includes a 75-kilometer desert run in Pokhran and a 100-kilometer solo run during the pandemic. She is also a marketer. Shweta is popularly known and understands practices and lives to be a high performer with a never give up attitude. Mahasweta, more we'd like to know on that marathon, but we'll come to that. But first, welcome to the panel.
Thank you so much, Revati. It's an honor to be here.
Next up on the panel, I will introduce Dr. Nirmala Chandrasekar. Can you hear us, Dr. Nirmala?
Yes, I'm here. It's taking some time for the video to switch on. Please go ahead.
Please take your time. Meanwhile, I'll introduce Dr. Nirmala to our attendees today. She's a consultant in obstetrics and gynecology at BGS Global Hospital. She completed her degree from JJM Medical College, Davangere, and specialized as a fellow in gynec-oncology from Gujarat Cancer and Research Institute. She has a wide range of expertise in managing complicated cases in OBG at BGS Global Hospital. She has over 15 years of experience in this field. She worked as a lecturer at St. John's Medical College and Hospital. She has been a fellow in gynec-oncology at Gujarat Cancer and Research Institute and has worked as an assistant and associate professor at Department of OBG at Rajarajeshwari Medical College and Hospital. Welcome to the panel, Dr. Nirmala.
Thanks for introducing me.
All right. So I'll quickly move to the round of questions that we have. Dr. Poorva, I'll start with you first. Can you tell us about your fitness journey, hopping from one, basically, how do you manage your work with the fitness journey that you are undertaking now?
Okay. The journey has been the chosen one. So because of the passion, I have been playing badminton from the age of now 15 and I'm now 57. After 50s, I have come and joined in the arena and to get to know better, people playing better in the tournaments and I am enjoying it because of sheer passion. But the journey is extremely delightful. It gives me both, you know. I have my mental fitness also and the physical fitness also. So it is bi-directional in my opinion. And it works fantastic. I prioritize my time and I have been working on this for many, many years. So it has become a routine for me now. Yeah. And I feel that uh, health is not an option, you know, where I will give time, or it has to be how. And that has made me my journey very, very blissful and very, very happy.
Dr. Poorva, correct me if I'm wrong, you're in your 50s
I'm
and
57.
57 and more
Yeah.
than 2 decades of a very busy career of
Yes.
counseling, involving children, adults, and all of that.
Yeah.
It must have not been easy. You said it's a conscious choice, but what
Yes.
about the challenges? How do you manage between that busy professional life and making
Yes.
sure you find time for this?
Yes. Challenges is, like I said, it was not an option per se. Physical fitness is not an option. So, whatever it is, I have to have my badminton of 1.5 hours in the morning. I'm 57 and I have been selected for now Karnataka for the nationals as a top player. And I'm enjoying that, you know. If, see, 1.5 hours, if I play in the morning, my full day I can take my patients and happy because it gives me that boost, that energy and motivation. What else? My
Okay,
physical
starting the day
fitness
off,
is,
yes.
yeah, and
Starting
I'm
the day
really
off
enjoying.
with physical fitness, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Mahasweta, there's so much I know you have to tell about the story of running this marathon,
Mm.
and we'd like to hear about your experience. You're the fastest Indian woman to complete the 250-kilometer Marathon des Sables. It's French, so pardon me for the pronunciation. Across Sahara in Morocco, said to be the world's toughest race. Now, how did you manage to do that? For you also, was it that I didn't have an option? Is that a choice that you made?
So like Dr. Poorva said, that fitness is not a choice. It's my way of life. And it's been 2 decades. I have 2 decades of both. I have 2 decades of marketing experience. I've been a full-time employee job ever, always. And I also have 2 decades of fitness journey with me. From the day I started till date, I don't think it ever was saying, should I do it? What if I don't do it? There was never any doubt. It was like every day when we wake up and we need to have your first cup of tea or coffee or brush is the same thing. Like she said, that I got to get my run in place. I mean, that sets me up for the whole day. Come whatever after that, any kind of challenge. I think then the rhythm is set and then the ball is kind of rolling. It's like there's no stopping. So it's never been I've never given myself any excuse that was strong enough that I would not do it. And with the borderline stance of trying to brag, I once in Bangalore, actually, I used to play tennis as well at that time. I dislocated my shoulder and I couldn't move my right shoulder, but I still used to go to the gym and work out on the lower part of the body because I couldn't do the upper part. And when like 2019, I broke my leg. So I actually still used to find a friend and go to the gym, take support from him. And then I would do my upper body because I couldn't move my legs. So I just think that it is just a conscious effort and choice. It's not like a project, or it's not like can do or good to do. It's a must do for me. And I think that's been the only differentiator for me from the day I started.
All right. A lot more about your story than we have in that bio of yours, Mahasweta. Quickly moving on to Dr. Nirmala. Doctor, this sedentary lifestyle has its effects on overall health for any person for that matter. In your practice, what are the issues that you see in women of this generation with lack of exercises?
Usually, see, sedentary lifestyle causes a lot of issues in women of all age groups, be it young women or old-aged women. So the risk of diabetes, hypertension, and lipid profile abnormalities are commonly found in all these age groups. Not only that, these patients respond better when we say exercise as a solution to them. The moment these patients start exercising, we find better response. we find better response. Not only that, even polycystic ovarian syndrome, either with or without obesity, is also more in such women with sedentary lifestyle. So it is a very important thing that we advise these women to exercise on a daily basis.
Okay. All right. So it's not just that physical fitness is important to prevent any sort of diseases, but even those with a medical condition, the rate of recovery is sort of being helped with if they are physically active and exercise regularly. All right. Quickly move on to the next question to Dr. Poorva. Dr. Poorva, you are a practicing psychologist, counseling sessions that you take. Could you tell us, how do you encourage people to seek counseling or talk about this to pick up fitness as a hobby? Because it is not prioritized as much as far as women is concerned as what we see around us.
Yes, you are absolutely right. But depending on the case, it is case based, If I see while connecting the dots that physical fitness is a little bit of a lag, and with that, it will get a boost to your mental health, because physical fitness and mental health is very, very bidirectional. It gives you a boost to a moods, it's a mood endorphins and all that secreted, and you feel better. It is a feel good factor also involved when you have a physical fitness also every day, if you are doing some kind of activity. So my aim is to make the person understand why we should do this. That is more important for me. Then it is left to the choice of the patient, how to go about it. I am there to guide them, how to make a time for that, because they are already in that stress. When they come for counseling, when I see that there are little bit of lag in when we take physical parameters like sleep, diet, and exercise, that is where I give them inputs and make them aware about basically what you can do about it and how you should go about it. It is not that why you are not doing, it is about how you should do. And that gives me more clarity. Okay, what is the constraint? We have to understand that first for the patients. Those who come for counseling, what are the constraints? Up till, depending on their age, depending on their ailment, we need to understand what best is the possible factors taking into consideration. Then we can advise them, and then we can motivate them how they should go about this physical fitness. Because those who are into clinical depression, they might not be able to do meditation as well. We understand all that, and with that perspective, we can motivate the patients to come to a terms that why it is important and how they should be doing it. That is a more critical aspect of it, rather than encouraging. Motivation works as encouragement only, but what and how makes a more dominant part of my counseling parents, patients, everyone to go for the physical fitness. But it is a must, because it is one of the important parameters of a physical aspects, physical parameters like sleep, diet, and exercise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So physical fitness is important. Everybody needs to take care of it, but it is not the same for everybody.
No.
Not everybody can easily get on to taking up a fitness journey for that matter. All right. Mahasweta, coming to you, I was reading about this marathon, and it is easily one of the toughest ones. Can you tell us what were the challenges there? What was it like at the marathon? What were the rules? What were the challenges, and how did you overcome them? What was your preparation like?
So before I start that, I would also like to tell everybody that I was one of those people who used to weigh 78 kgs. I didn't have Dr. Poorva in my life at that time to tell me that I was probably on a state of almost depression. But I did end up having PCOS, which needed treatment. I had to go through intensive treatment at that time. And one of my biggest triggers to get into fitness was my weight, which obviously was exclusively and only because of sedentary lifestyle and bad eating habits. So I think the trigger was health conditions of why I got down into this path, and then of course I will give it to me that from there and now I've never given it up. It's become a part of my life, like I mentioned already. Coming back to Marathon des Sables, as they call it has been my dream run to do this race. Now, that race has, I say it has three different aspects of that race. One is the physical training, which is practicing to run that distance and the endurance part of the running, so on and so forth. The second is the physical preparation for the race, because it is a self-sufficient race, which means that the 7 days of everything that a runner needs, you have to carry with yourself. The race organizers only give you plain water and they give you nothing else, and they give you a very basic tent to stay at night. So you have to carry your 7 days of food, you have to carry whatever gear you need, any medication you need, all your hydration, nutrition requirements, everything you carry on your backpack, and you run with that backpack. The backpack also has a limitation that it has to be minimum 7.5 kgs. That is to ensure that you're taking 2000 calories every day. That's the way they ensure that nobody's kind of starving because you want to keep lesser weight and so on and so forth. And the third and the most important part is your mental game. Because to do a race like this, which is in the desert, there were about 1,200 participants walking through the Sahara Desert, which means that almost, and since I was the only Indian representing India this year, in total, there were only 19 Indians who've done this race till date. I was alone. I obviously didn't have friends who I was training, and we didn't have a big gang out there. Most of the time, I was alone. I was just, whether it was hot, hard, impossible, questioning myself or cursing myself to be there, it was all myself. Also, to be able to go and be doing this kind of physical endurance day after day after day. Ideally, when we do a marathon, it's a one-day thing. You go, you run for 3.5, 4 hours, and then it's done. You come back and you're celebrating, you're recovering. Here, none of that happens. Every day, you're on your foot for at least 8 to 10 hours. You come back to the tent, you eat, you sleep, if you get to sleep, and then you next day get up and go again. These 6 stages are also 6 races in itself. So each race you have to qualify, you have to finish within the given time and come back to the tent, finish the finish line. Only then you can go next time. So there was an immense amount of mental preparation. And I think that's where my years of training, of being resilient, of never giving up, of going through that up and down of a daily routine of your life is what has helped me to be successfully finishing that race. Because there were really, really dark, dull moments when you were so by yourself. I remember the day I was doing the 91 kilometer and I was walking through or running through the night. It was pitch dark. You could not see anything, hear anything. You could literally hear your breath. It was scary. It was like, you just didn't know. Like the only thing probably I knew was that the only way forward is to move forward. There is nothing else. There is no going back from here. And I think if we all take that as a statement that would define your life, I think everything that we're setting out to do would become so much easier, including fitness, right? That, from here, there is no going back. I mean, you get up and you do it. Yeah, my trigger was medical condition, but then it didn't stop there. It was only a trigger to a beginning, and not to like saying, oh, you know what, now I have PCOS and I'm 80 kgs and my life is gone. That also played a lot of psychology into play of what that person was, and today I am. I'm able to do this because fitness is over these years trained me to go through, practice discipline, stay committed to my purpose, stay focused, be strong. Because not every day when I go to train, I feel great, right? There are days when I don't want to. There are days when I'm tired. I have a full-time job and probably there's a lot of like things not happening the way I would like at work. That is every reason I have a family. I mean, family wants to go out on Saturday and party or celebrate or go for dinner, but I want to go and run on Sunday morning. So I have found a work around everybody and created this happy place for myself and my life through my fitness journey, which is, I think, helped me to stay physically well and emotionally sound and mentally great too. I mean, I'm 45 and a half, and I can proudly say that I have no physical challenges at all. I don't take any medication. I'm sure Dr. Poorva has analyzed me and can give me a full mark on my mental health as well. So here I am, and the only reason I've been able to do is because I have been at it always.
Nice.
Amazing journey, Mahasweta. I think we're all in awe listening to the kind of challenges you have faced at the marathon and how you managed to overcome that. A lot of lessons as well. Like you said, fitness journey, it is a journey. It is not a one-day thing, and you will have to be mentally, physically prepared for all of this. With that, I'll take the next question to Dr. Nirmala. Dr. Nirmala, Mahasweta talked about PCOS that she was handling, the condition that she was handling at that point. Any exercises or how physical fitness can help manage PCOS that you could suggest?
Yes. See, Revati, first of all, we just want to know what is polycystic ovarian syndrome. See, PCOS can be just a coincidental finding when we do a scan for anybody for that matter. See, these days we have been finding that the incidence of PCOS is on the rise. Now, just finding polycystic ovaries on ultrasound doesn't fit them into PCOS. I have people coming with the scan report telling, ma'am, I have PCOS. I'm really concerned. Say they already Google it and they get to know a lot of things about it. Now, when do we call as PCOS? See, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a syndrome which comprises of 4 features. One is either scanty menstruation or irregular periods, with or without obesity, hirsutism, acne, which could be because of hyperandrogenism, and of course, finding polycystic ovaries, that is tiny water-like cysts on scan. It should be more than 10 in number and so on. So now, obesity is one of the features that we find in PCOS in most of the patients with PCOS, I would call. There are patients with thin PCOS also. But the moment we start telling them, the exercise and diet plan for them, and they start doing regularly, they are on a weight loss regime and they start losing weight, that is when we see the response is better. So there's something called hyperinsulinemia, which happens in PCOS. There is hyperandrogenism, there are hyperestrogenism. All these hormones are on the rise. They cause a diabetes, like glucose intolerance like state. Now, when they exercise, we find all these things are taken care better. See, though we treat them with the hormones, it's all a temporary measure. The final and the solution to the polycystic ovarian syndrome is, of course, diet, exercise, which leads to weight loss. Also in thin PCOS, diet and exercise will decrease the hyperinsulinemia, the hormonal changes that happen, and leads to regular menstrual cycles.
All right. All right, Dr. Nirmala. Before we move to the next round of questions, I'd like to remind attendees on this webinar that if you have any questions, you can type them out in the chat box below. We'll pick up those questions at the end of the webinar for the panelists to answer. And I would also like to remind the attendees about the Happiest Health Summit on Women's Wellness on 16th March 2024 at St. John's Auditorium. It starts at 9 a.m. on the 16th. And to know more about the summit, please log on to www.happiesthealth.com and register now. Next round of questions that I have, I'd like to start again with you, Dr. Nirmala. As far as women are concerned, towards menopause with hormonal changes and low bone density, women also tend to feel weak. Now, apart from medication required, can exercises help here?
Yeah. See, what happens in menopause is basically a decrease in the bone content. Usually after menopause, because of the lack of estrogen, the bone loss is faster as compared to that happens in men. Now, when these women start exercising, both the content and the strength of the bone improves. We have found that the bone density especially decreases in the vertebra and the hip joints. So the fractures at these sites are very, very common. But at the same time, in those women who are exercising regularly and are on a diet rich in calcium and isoflavones, what we call as the natural flavonoids, so these women are at less risk for having osteoporotic bone fractures. So exercise is, of course, the solution to postmenopausal women.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Nirmala. Mahasweta, coming to you, you did talk about the challenges at the marathon and how you overcame them. What was necessary for you to really complete that, take it forward day after day. Now, for those of us, those of them who are listening to this discussion right now, and for other women, if they want to take up such a journey, what are the challenges going to be like, and how does one overcome that? Because like you said initially, when you went to the gym, there was a separate section for women. It was that rare to see a woman go to the gym. That is slowly changing, but hasn't changed enough to make a significant difference. So, what would you like to tell other women when it comes to challenges like these in terms of taking up physical fitness?
A lot of people are not going to like my response, but I think the biggest challenge is us. It is we who think or decide or say for ourselves that, oh, we cannot do this. I am too young, too old, I am fit, I am healthy, I don't need this, I don't do this, I don't have time, my kids, my husband, my family, there is every excuse a woman can give. I think the biggest challenge that we face is ourselves. I think the first thing that we need to move out is that you are important. And like Dr. Nirmala is mentioning, we are all either going through or might have a risk of going through any of those challenges, which is, and she's just mentioning a small part of those challenges. There is the rest of the body, which is the heart and the lungs and the organs and your triglycerides and cholesterol, which she's not even addressing here. So it is up to us if we want to go down that path, or we want to take control of our own lives and take action. I am not saying that with doing this or living the lifestyle with all of with exercise and diet, you will not have maybe diseases. You still might, but at least you're giving yourself a fair chance to say that you might delay the process, or who knows, you might not have one at all. So I think the biggest challenge is that in 20 years ago, as I said, when I went to the gym the first time, we had a separate women's section and a separate entry in a place like Bangalore, which is known to be one of the most advanced cities in this country. Today, it's no longer the same. Today there's so many gym options, and it's all like everybody is going there. Options are available. So I think you do not have to look far and wide to go to, you don't have to break those barriers. Some of those barriers are broken by itself. So all you need to do is break your own barrier first. Having said that, there is going to be a lot of challenges. Like when I was in this journey, I don't think anybody supported or understood my passion, saying, why do you have to run so much? Or why do you have to go to the gym? Why can't you eat the fried stuff or the dessert every day? Or why do you have to go to sleep early? So on and so forth. But the thing is that it never deterred me. I felt sad. There were times I felt angry. I probably fought with them a lot. But then I think one thing that never changed was that I never chose to give up, saying, all right, that person doesn't like it, so be it. But it is good for me. So you got to be smart enough to know what is good for you and then make that smart choice. There are going to be challenges. There are challenges in everything that we set out to do. This is not a new thing, and it's not going to not come with challenges. But I don't think there is any challenge that is big enough if you are able to move that one big challenge, which is yourself, in that path. If you decide to do it, then who's going to stop you? I mean, it's completely your call, and it is your health in your physical and mental health both. And I am a believer that because I am in the state of wellness, so physical and mental, I go to work as a more productive, happier person who is kind of bringing that positivity around. And the same applies at home. Like if I am probably not doing this, or if the days then I'm not able to do it, for example, or whatever, I don't think I am this up and about and high energetic person that I am always. So I am just saying that if you are becoming a better person, then why would you not do it? You're actually gifting everybody a better version of you, as against by doing it and by just making this small correction in your life.
All right. Absolutely, Mahasweta. You are your biggest challenge. So try and move ahead of that. Dr. Poorva, my next question to you, of course, overlaps with what a lot of Mahasweta said. But as a counselor, also, I would like you to answer this. Some of the common exercise barriers for women when we look around is, a lack of time, lack of motivation, parenting demands. How do you motivate women around you to plunge into fitness regime?
Okay, this is a very interesting question. Okay. First thing is, I will answer your question in three parameters. Okay. First is, let us go for where is me time. If I am good, then I will be good to others. If I am healthy, I will give happiness and health to others. Like Mahasweta said, ki, this is positivity. So you feel positive and it is contagious. So instead of excuses, I focus more on how I should go about that me time. Barriers will be there. So instead of excuses, you make it use. And I strongly feel that it is an investment. You look at it as an investment in your health, you know. See, if you look at it every day exercise, no matter every day, if even if I don't do it, nowadays so many options are available. Why gadgets are there for you? Make a use of it rather than abusing it. Lot of time is wasted on WhatsApp, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So instead of that, go for a YouTube and go watch yoga videos, do some exercise on that. If you want to do, you will be able to do. Where it is coming as a me time, that is the most motivational factor for you. One thing. Second thing, look at it as an investment part. Don't look at it as a, why I am doing this. I need not do it. I am only slim. I have no health issues. Why I should do it. But it is, stitch in time saves nine. Look at it as an investment and you will definitely get better returns on that because it is your health. It is your routine, like you eat, sleep every day. So exercise is not an option, I said, but you should look at it as how I should do it, right? And especially for children, when uh, I have my niche area actually parenting, I will see that you can yourself become a role model when you do exercise and when you see that what is the benefit what you are getting. You need not say that to your children that you go to a gym or you go to a playground and play anything. I will give you my own example. When we started at 12 or 10 years of age, in the evening we were be on the playground, never to the tuition, never ever else, and that has inculcated a discipline in us, positivity in us, and how to respect my own body. And that is most important, I feel. So, parents, be careful, be watchful, and see that you can become a role model by yourself. No need to inculcate. See, everyone is focusing on how many marks, how many, one after the other. I have been giving lot of inputs on these areas like study is just a meager one small portion of your life, and health is constantly being with you. So sir salamat to pagdi 50. So what is more important, you know so that
Right.
has to be come from the parents, that how am I a role model for a child, or I am not exercising but telling my children go for a walk, go for cycling. And otherwise, what I have seen the other side, when it comes to that stage, parents are after that. But no, I strictly advise them, you should inculcate by role modeling that behavior. You don't have to do anything, everything will fall in place. Like I said, positivity, it is contagious, and spread that. Don't look for excuses, make it how I should do. Where it is me time, I am happy, my perspective is also happy, and I make others happy, right?
All right. All right. Mahasweta, I see you raised your hand. You have a point to add?
Yeah, on a lighter note to what Dr. Poorva said, you'll also get wealthy staying healthy. You will spend less money with Dr. Nirmala and hospitals. And also, I have grown in my profession, being in the senior director, I think, because I've been in this journey. So it is assured success in getting rich as well. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
health and wealth both at the same time.
Yes,
It's,
yes,
it's,
yes.
it's a total ROI in investment.
Right. Dr. Nirmala, would you want to give your 2 cents on, what can women do to ensure they start on their physical fitness journey in spite of having all of these excuses or lack of motivation, lack of time, etc. I'm sure you would be happy if people are spending less on health like Mahasweta talked about.
See, definitely. See, exercise is such a major, plays a major role in all health issues. See, the moment the patient comes to my OPD, after assessing and everything, most often exercise is a plan for them. So motivation, is always there. I would say that patients will get good health only with exercise. I would always tell, instead of spending so much time, money, and all these on the medicines that you're going to take, it is better you work on exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the fitness is very, very important in our younger generation, especially. They don't play at all. As Dr. Poorva was telling, the girls of as young as 22, 24 come with a high body mass index.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is actually very disturbing. And in
Yeah.
fact, when I put them on hormones, they don't just respond,
Yeah.
So that is really a big motivation. I tell them, if you lose 5 kgs, I'll start treating for your infertility.
Oh.
That is when I'll start. Otherwise, it is really difficult. You may not respond to the tablets that I give. So that is when, they are motivated and say, ma'am, I'm doing everything. So the moment they are in the process of doing, I'm happy, because all the hormonal issues and everything starts responding better to our medications. So health is just definitely a major motivational factor for women to exercise. Isn't it, Dr. Poorva?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 200% agree with you. Even the simple PT exercises will do, simple starting just with small PT exercises workout enough. No excuse. That much you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want is to add on here is, see, when women start aging, they start getting knee pain and back pain and all this. See, the thing is, they say that because of the knee pain, I'm not able to do the exercise. It is just a vicious cycle.
Yes.
What happens because of the knee pain? They start gaining weight, and again, the weight adds on more pressure onto the knee joints.
Yes,
This is a vicious cycle. Yeah. So I would advise them to go for both dieting and exercise together.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My mom
The
is
right diet and
65,
right amount of.
and I think must be about 10 years now, or maybe 8-9 years. So when she went through her menopause is when I had to start convincing her to start going to the gym. So now for last 7-8 years, she's a regular in the gym. She ensures she has a decently healthy diet, and she goes to the gym. The same thing that Dr. Nirmala mentioned, that osteoporosis, fractures with age, and I mean, it's just so very painful once you've reached there. And I just want to say one thing to everybody, that don't wake up when the damage is already done. It is a lot of times those damages cannot be undone. So take action now. You probably will be able to save the damage. At least give yourself the chance. The least you can do for yourself is to give yourself the chance to say that maybe you will not end up there. Only if you want to. I mean, we can all say anything and everything, but it's your choice end of the day. So.
End of the day. All right. Thank you, panelists. We have a few questions from our attendees as well. But before I move on to that, I want to make a quick announcement that for the Women's Wellness Summit on 16th March, starting at 9 a.m. at St. John's Auditorium, hosted by Happiest Health. With that, I'll quickly go on to the questions that we have from the attendees. First question is to Dr. Nirmala. What is the right time for a new mother to start her fitness regime post-childbirth?
Yeah. See, this is one of the commonest questions that I get to answer. Thing is, the moment the patient delivers, if it is a normal delivery, I would say she can go for a walk, say a minimal duration of 5 to 10 minutes on the first day or the second day, once she's having a pain-free period. Now, if following cesarean, of course, after a week's time, walking is definitely advised. Now, what about the abdominal wall exercises? The abdominal wall exercises can be done in a patient who has delivered normally, say, after 6 weeks. That is when all the body organs start involuting and coming back to its original state. Now, following cesarean, I would tell all my patients to defer from doing the abdominal wall exercises for a period of 6 months, because the wound is healing. The scar, that is the cut on the rectus sheath, which is a tough sheath has to heal, and it takes a minimum period of 4 to 6 months for that to heal. So abdominal wall exercises only after 6 months.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Nirmala. Our next question is from an attendee, Vidya Ramanath. Question is to Mahasweta. She wants to ask you if you could throw some light on the deaths seen in young athletes nowadays, especially since you're in an area that is quite tedious on the body. You talked about all the challenges, but also about the extreme scenarios that she'd like you to answer.
Yeah, I'm glad someone asked that question, because I know that there has been incidences in most recent races, at least in the last year. One of the biggest reasons, and when we went back and looked at some of those cases that happened, most of them were carrying medical conditions. And there is this myth that people always say that because I'm a runner, you assume that you can eat anything and you do not need to do your checkups. I've had situations where a runner friend of mine was complaining of chest pain, and the doctor said, "Oh, you're a runner, so it cannot be a heart. It could be gastric. Go to the gastroenterologist and get treated." So we went through a whole series of tests and gastroenterologies, and then the gastro doctor said, "Everything looks normal. Just to rule out, why don't you get like a TMT done?" And when the TMT was done, we figured out that person had 98% heart blockage. So the point I'm trying to make is that just because you're into fitness, even as extreme fitness like me, I get my mandatory health checkup, a full detailed body health checkup from head to toe every single year, come what may, and a blood work every 6 months. Anybody who is into fitness, or anybody who's probably, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor here, but after a certain age, probably once you're in your 30s, it is a good practice to start getting a preemptive health checkup, so you know that nothing is really wrong. Just because if you've had a condition and then you go out and start doing running, it is not running who's causing the disaster. It is because you already have a precondition which you've never looked into or checked into. And nobody is saying that just because you're running, you cannot have it. So do not dilute or these lines. Fitness is one part of the way to stay fit. That doesn't mean that your health doesn't need to be measured or monitored. So what I'm trying to do is, fitness is a way to stay healthy, but you also need to find a way to measure your health and monitor your health, which is through your exercises. So a lot of these incidences are coming from that background, that they've been very, very obese, and they suddenly took up running, and they lost 10 kgs and they're feeling great about it, and they're going out and doing like a full marathon in like 6 months. Great. It's a lot to do with the body. I always say that what you're seeing me of today, there is 20 years of physical fitness into it and 10 years of running. So you cannot become me over day. So give yourself time, and like Dr. Poorva said, respect your body. Understand that the body is transitioning or transforming. It'll take time. Take necessary precautions. And the other one thing which really, really bothers me, and I think now over years people have learned, they say, "Oh, you're a runner, you can eat anything." No, sorry, nobody can eat anything. Unhealthy food is not prescribed, whether you're a runner or you're a non-runner, even a doctor. So please watch what you eat, and most importantly, measure your health, because only then you'll be able to monitor it. We are only telling you tools so that you get a better result. That doesn't mean that these tools will take away the need to monitor it. They're very different aspects. Don't blur those lines, and don't blame it on the sport. The sport is innocent. It's what we do.
Absolutely. Dr. Poorva, closing remarks from you.
Basically, I'm happy that women's fitness you have taken up as a global webinar, okay, in the first place, because to create awareness, only awareness is not sufficient. Aware, beware, and care. All three things are important, So I will see that every woman should motivate another woman. So make sure that you will motivate one or two and go into, that mode of spreading the awareness. That will work faster.
All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Nirmala, closing remarks.
Yeah. Women's health usually is a neglected part of her needs. Most often people who are really bothered about health they exercise, and I find that such women are very, very less in number. Usually they are bothered about children or their career, but their health is the last priority. So I think it is high time they start prioritizing their health for the well-being of the whole family. If the woman is fit, everyone is fit. Do you agree, Dr. Poorva?
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much, panelists. That was a very, very interesting session. I'm sure the attendees also agree. And let me quickly again remind you that this is just a glimpse of what you could listen to and understand and experience at the Women's Wellness Summit that we are planning to host on the 16th of March at St. John's Auditorium starting at 9 a.m. With that, we come to the end of the session. I've loved to listen to all of you a little more, all the experiences, all the tips, all that I could also take away with me, but we are right on time to close the webinar. Thank you so much for taking out the time out of your busy schedule and giving us the insights into this topic on women's physical fitness. I hope we can collaborate again in the future on similar topics.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank
Thanks.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.